Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome.
Happy Saturday!
It's Saturday, lovely here in Nevada. And welcome back to Entrepreneur Life, another day in the life of an entrepreneur. And I am your host, Rose McDonald from McDonald Bookkeeping. And I am here with my
Co-host Shamara Walker with SWHR Consulting. Unfortunately, I'm not in Las Vegas. No, fortunately, I'm not in Vegas. I am in the Caribbean, Antigua.
she is enjoying life for real in the Caribbean.
So, Rose, go ahead and do our intros and we'll get started.
So we are, as everybody knows who has been following us, we so appreciate you. Thank you so much for following us and staying engaged. We are on what used to be 11 podcast platforms. We have now been bumped up and we're on 13, and you can listen to us now on Pandora. So if you are on Pandora, and some of you, maybe you are on Spotify or iHeart or Deezer, wherever you are, but you might have Pandora, you can also now listen to us on Pandora Mobile. So let me tell you, I am just really happy about that. And just don't forget that if you want to learn about our shows, see our past shows or our upcoming shows, then you can go to our website, entrepreneurlife.show. I always forget that, entrepreneurlife.show. Okay, so today it's about, Samara's going to run this show today. So lead us into our topic for today.
So our topic for today is getting funding your business. So from, and Rose, you can go ahead and pull out the document. So from our last two series, we talked about, creating that foundation. So series 1 was talking about creating that foundation for your business, getting your ideas out there, getting the buy-in of your potential clients. Series 2 was really focusing on, now I can't even remember. Getting legal. So we, the goal is to make sure that your business is an established business. If anybody goes to go look for your business, they can go and find your business license, and really, making sure that you're legit so that people really respect you as a business, as a business owner as well. And so today our series 3 is going to be talking about funding your business and what you need to do and how to be able to get funding for your business. Okay. So, so with the document pulled up, the first things first is you really want to understand, and determine how much money you need. Mm-hmm. Depending on the size of your business, depending on what type of business you are, that you're going into, will also depend on what kind of money you need to help get that business going. So really trying to figure out, okay, how much money I need. It's not a one size fit all type of thing. You need to just kind of figure out that. And that's something that we'll talk about later as we, go into the business plan and creating what your budget's going to be, what your expenses are going to be, and really what your valuation of your business is going to be in order for you to get the funding that you need to get your business started. I don't know, Rose, do you have anything to add to that? Because I could just dive into the next thing.
Of course, I would say when you are looking for funding, which I'm sure that Shamara is going to go through the outline, is just be sure that, your business is stable enough and it can pay it back basically. And you understand the difference of interest and principal and stuff like that. Just understand what the definition of funding is and what's behind it. Basically, just don't look at, I need a loan. And I'm going to get a loan, and it's going to help me grow my business if you don't really even know how to your business isn't even organized, to understand what your business needs are. So basically, that's pretty much it.
Right. I mean, and again, we're going to go into that, but I think just to piggyback off of what Rose is saying is that, you can go out there and get a loan. People will give you money, but how are you going to pay it back if your business is not making money? And so, we also kind of coached someone that we know personally when she was getting her business really started and going. And the first thing that her thought was, I need to get this business plan. I need to go get a loan so I can get money. And and so both myself and Rose was like, your business haven't even started. Like, you don't even know how much money you can actually make off of the business yet for you to be looking to get a loan. And again, we're not discouraging getting loans. It's just understanding that you have either some capital already saved to where if you get a loan that you can pay onto that loan, that's going to help keep your business going, so that you're not going there with zero capital and expecting to be able to grow your business and pay back this loan. So now that kind of leads us to, talking about the different types of funding for your business. So I'm
going to go ahead and redo this so they can see it a little bit better.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure they can see just a little bit better to open up. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so, so as I mentioned, there's quite a few different ways that you can go about funding your business. The one that's most popular and what they call bootstrapping is funding your business yourself. That's pretty much my journey. I started my business with the capital that I got from my 401k when I was like, I'm done with corporate America. I want to do this on my own. And so I pretty much did the bootstrapping method of going out and using what I got from my 401k and started my business that way. And so, perfect example, again, like having a savings account, maybe utilizing your 401k, maybe turning to your friends and family that can help fund your business. But I will say, be careful with that. Because sometimes, friends and family can get involved and then they want to run your business for you when you just needed their money. So be careful with your friends and family funding. When you think about funding your business on your own, you have to understand that you're taking on all the risk, right, of your business. Right. So you have to be so careful about what you're spending, how you're spending, because again, if you started with only maybe $4,000, you need to make that $4,000 stretch until you get your first client, and use that money the most legit way in order for you to start with your branding and marketing and getting out there and things like that. If you have a small budget, so you really want to be very careful about how you're spending your money if you're going to self-fund, because again, that money can go very quickly. And so, we'll talk a little bit more about what you can do to kind of keep yourself organized, understand your funding so that you're not going over budget, things like that. But yes, when it comes to self-funding, that's something that a lot of people do immediately when they start their business. So there's nothing wrong with that. What are your thoughts, Rose?
I agree. I mean, it's, I would say, when you're self-funding, you want to consider having a couple of months. If you can do like a year or two's worth of capital that you've saved, so that you don't have to dip into your savings, or maybe your partner still working, your husband or your wife, because it's never really what you think. You can say, oh, I'll put 10, 15,000 aside, and you wish you had put 30. Always have a little bit of cushion, basically.
Right. It's very helpful to, like Rose mentioned, to do have a significant other that can help you out while you're trying to create this dream for you guys' future. So, again, overall, it's just, if you're going to do the self-funding method, just be very careful and understand that you're taking on the risk. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because again, if you're in a position where you go get funding and you do have investors and all of that, there is some level of control. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in topic 3 when it comes to getting funded and having them have a percentage of your business, where with self-funding, you have 100%. If you get an investor, more than likely you're going to have to give up, maybe between 5 to 20%, sometimes 30%, just depending on how aggressive this investor is within your business. So maybe I'll just let you, talk a little bit about that, Rose.
I know sometimes I've had particular clients that are looking for investors. And as she said, of course, you do lose a percentage of your business in some cases. But then in some cases, I found that some investors want to bring in their own accounting people because they
Mm-hmm.
want to watch the money. So you might be running the business, but then they want to have control of your financials. They want to see exactly what is happening, everything you're taking in and out. And that seems to me, I find the most discouraging when people are looking for investors or having silent investors, because now, they kind of, the other person has they can make decisions and how
Right.
you're spending your money or what it's being spent on. Even if you just want to, maybe you need a piece of equipment, you have to go and now you have to sit down with those investors to see if they think you should have it. And then it's preparing for it, because you can think, well, we need a truck. I'm just making this up. We need a new truck for whatever reason. And they say, okay, then you need to show us why. You need to give us what are we going to get in return if we invest this money and take money out of the business to get a new truck. So it's almost doing a business plan all over again. You have to give them a financial picture. So just be aware you just don't get money and then you can just run your business like normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Which lead us to the types of investors out there. The most common one is like the angel investor or venture capital investments. And so those were, again, we just talked about where they offer, a capital in exchange of ownership of some of the shares of the business, along with playing an active role within your company. Again, there isn't really a guaranteed way to get venture capitalism, but the process generally follows some of the standards that we're going to talk about now. So again, finding an investor is the first thing. So finding somebody who's going to believe in your dream. A lot of times company goes to what they call like pitch events, right? And I've went to one. It was very interesting where there's investors, they're investors lined up, and you go in front of them and you pitch your business idea within 10 to 15 minutes. Wow. So that is highly stressful. They don't give you enough time. And at the end of it, they make their decision on who they're going to pick from those events. I went to one. It was very intimidating. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because again, you have so much that you want to say about your business and why you think you're the best and all that. And you only have 10 to 15 minutes. Ridiculous. But I saw a lot of people get up there, they do their thing, and then some of them got chosen for getting capital. So finding an investor is the first step. Step 2 is sharing your business plan. So you have to have a business plan. There's no way that you can get any type of funding without a business plan. And like Rose mentioned, if you're in the startup phase, your business plan have to be so legit in terms of the financial piece of how they're going to get their money back in terms of valuation in order for them to make that in that investment. So that's why sometimes I recommend maybe starting the business on your own, gaining some of that capital, gaining some of that years of experience, kind of doing it by yourself. Give yourself some time to run your business, establish it, and then come back to thinking about getting funding if you're ready to expand and be bigger and grow. Because self-funding, it's your business is going to take a longer time to grow. So if you're at that stage where, damn, I'm making good money, I think I'm ready to get somebody in here, and you can show where you're at, it's probably going to be more likely for you to get an investor if you've already been established for a couple of years, and they can see those projections in your numbers.
And
so
understanding what your financials look like. What is it? Don't just have somebody say, I have quite a few people, they depend on their bookkeeper or their accountant, but they don't even understand what they're looking at. So make sure you understand what's happening in the background, what you're not seeing. And that they're correct, or as correct as they can be.
Yeah. So just to give you some ideas of what's inside of a business plan, and we'll share a template with you guys at the end, or I think Rose is going to upload it somewhere for you guys to be able to get that template. But some of the things that are inside of your business plan is, one, your executive summary. So this is really the most critical part of your business plan, because it gives them an idea of where you're at, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve in one summary before they dive in. So you have to be able to capture their attention immediately in that executive summary for them to continue to want to read more. So, executive summary is very critical within your business plan. Your company your company description. So this
Yeah.
pretty much is giving them an understanding of the type of business you are, what's your purpose, your mission, your vision, the formation of your business, what the information that goes with it. And I know Rose talks about your operational documents all the time, and so that's part of that. Who the founders are, if you have more than one people, more than one owners within your business. Where are you located? What types of clients you serve? What's the current status of your business, and all of those, anything that you've ever achieved within your business. So they like to see notoriety, meaning if you've become, and I think Rose, you can talk on that too, and I can talk on it. I was very surprised when I looked on Las Vegas and I looked up my company. I was on the top 10 of one of the best HR companies in Las Vegas. Had no clue, but I was like, thank you for that. But those types of things attract investors that wants to possibly contribute to your business growth. So
well, of course,
Rose,
I want to see, how is your, how secure is your business? If your business is already functioning, which they like, they want to see that your business is functioning. And even if you may not be making a big profit, it's not
right.
always that you're making a lot of money. It's knowing that your company's secure. It has no liability. It has no debt. They see the potential in the company to grow, that they're making a good investment, that you have your company organizational its organization is set up, meaning the right types of agreement. If you have shareholders or if you have partners, that there's agreements in place that's protecting the company minutes. So I know we've said this before, and because it is important. What is that saying? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Right.
So, it's building the frame. So when you build a house, it's all within the structure first before you build the walls and put the roof on. So it's always a start of getting it right before you jump in and start getting in motion. People don't think of insurance until they're about to get sued, or people don't think of, that what type of business they would set. They just went and got their license. It became a sole proper in LLC, but didn't understand the documents behind an LLC or a sole prop, whatever it is, or an S corp or a C corp. What could have protected you? Or maybe that you didn't put it in trust, and that could have been important, putting it in trust. Or maybe that you didn't protect your business at all. And now let's say, something happened to you when you're ill, and now you have family or friends or, people who worked for you or your employees. And now no one knows what's going to happen to the company, and everybody's dipping in and running in. So there's so many things involved in getting your entity structure right, so that you can just enjoy running your business rather than the fear of what could be happening. And then when you start making money, then you want investors and loans, and you're like, oh, you have to put all this stuff in place because you've just been running your business without even thinking what was behind it, like what future it held. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's the thing. It's okay to be guilty of that. I think we're all was guilty of that at some point, right? But it's taking that information, learning from it, and progressing. If there's no progress, if there, like she said, if it's not about, I think, seeing. Yeah, they want to see that your business is profitable. That's the most important thing. But little progress or profit over time, and that you just keep progressing, that's what they want to see. They don't really care that you're not bringing in millions, but they want that you're getting to get to the millions. Right?
The potential is there. Yeah.
Right. So, one of the other things that they want, well, there's quite a few, but their product and service. So they want to see what your product and services are. How is your service or product solving a problem within the community or in your business, and that includes like your core product or service, the definition of that, development stages, maybe screenshots or diagram of how your business is catering or solving a problem, what your pricing structures are, and any what do you call those things? Any of the case studies, I would say, case studies to show that, right? So those are some of the things that they want to see within your business plan.
And I would say that within that, when you say the products and services, would you then say that that's where it's important? That's kind of built into your SOP.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, all of this information should be in your operational document. Like,
Right.
how are you servicing companies? What is your mission, vision, statements? How many people you think you need for your business? What does that look like? What are some of the additional people that you may need in the future to keep your business growing? They want to see all of those things. So yes, between your business plan and your actual SOP operational document, all of that should be stored in there. So marketing. Marketing is always one of those big things, right, for every company that no one understands but need to do it. And so, they definitely want to see, what your marketing strategy is. How are you going about getting in front of your client avatar, which we talked about in our previous series.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to see what makes you different from the rest, right? What is your competitive advantage? And that includes, in this business plan, they want to see that. They want to see how, who's your competition, what type of market research you've done. They want to see your SWOT analysis. So what's your strength, your weakness, opportunities, and threats? Again, who your target market is. How are you positioning your brand, in front of your potential clients? Your elevator pitch, what does that look like? What are your taglines, and so, and it can change, mine's change up quite a lot depending on who I'm talking to or who I'm in front of, but having a couple of them in place that you can, that you can list on your business plan. Again, who your target customer is, what are some of the results after conducting your research, and what your marketing budget is, and also how you can eliminate any additional costs. So again, coming down to what the cost is going to be for that, and then what's your plan, what's your marketing strategy to get in front of your clients,
and how what does that marketing strategy say about you as it being
right?
visible? Some people, as we've talked about, and we've all started off, you kind of change your marketing plan,
Right.
how you market, depending on sometimes the times, because it changes, depending on how the market changes and the people's needs. And so, for example, when I initially started out, and I think we both learned as being a part of the Chicks Connect group, I didn't see the importance of your pitch. And as I said, it changed so many times. I didn't even know it was a pitch. I didn't know what a pitch was. An elevator pitch, it wasn't baseball. But I have to say that where Rhonda was really great in that, because people had pitched, and now when I listen to it, it wasn't saying much about their business or who they did. Because sometimes you go back, so what do they do? So that's important, because someone can introduce themselves in that 3 to 5 minute pitch, and you still don't know what they do.
And it shouldn't even be that long. It's supposed to be 90 seconds? So you need to get what you're doing out in 90 seconds. Who you are, what you do, how you solve a problem, right? I'm just kind of remembering what Rhonda said, like how you solve a problem, and wrap it up with a call of action, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's so important to kind of drill down. Like I said, I struggled with it in the beginning, and then I was able to solidify something that works. But again, it can always evolve, it can always change, but just be prepared to be able to make those changes.
And then of course, your branding, it's how you're marketing yourself. So which Shamar and I have gone back and forth and done different things in marketing. Like, I look at some shit, I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. She does like, oh, who are you using? What was that? And so sometimes we still learn. But what I found is most important, that something was said to me, and as being consumers ourselves, we know how we look at other consumers. So I had to teach myself, you're a consumer, look at yourself as how you're branding as you would look at someone else, and if it would interest you. And it made a lot of sense to me. So, for example, we're doing this show. This is part of our brand.
Right.
But it goes with what we do. So, for example, I do accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll, and help people in their financial needs. And Shamara does human resource, employee recruitment, getting their organization together to make sure they're compliant. And so this entrepreneur life is doing what? Helping others with what we actually do as our brand. So we're not doing a show or something that would affect our brand that is something that we don't know that isn't what we do. Does that explain that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, I can piggyback off and saying being consistent with your with your branding. I think that's one of the biggest things, is because and we struggle with it. And I think the reason we struggle with it is because we've only always had one brand.
Right.
And it's not to say that we don't encourage people to have all these different types of businesses and all this type of stuff. But whatever you do, if you're focusing on one business, you need to brand just that one business. Don't throw in your other business in that other brand, because it becomes confusing. And you're like, what do you actually do? So we want to make sure that people understand it's okay to be, a multi-burst entrepreneur, but with anything that you do in terms of your brand, and it needs to stay consistent with that one product or one service all the time. So that there isn't any type of confusion.
And consider with what you are putting out there, what people may not like. So I know some people, I have heard this, they'll post things and do things saying, well, that's me. If people don't like it, oh, well. And that could be everything from politically, it could be religious, just an opinion, or it could be, I've seen people get a little bit too risque posting things or arguing or negative in social media, and that can be a turnoff because that affects your brand. It really does. So I try to stay away from political stuff, religion, just about everything, because I don't know who's watching. I would love to get somebody who is going to say, do my books for $1 million, but be cautious of who's paying attention to what I'm doing, because it's my brand. Affected because I'm me is my brand.
Right. Yeah, you just got to be very careful in what you're, what you're putting out there and how people are receiving the information, because perception is, everybody has their own perception. So you have to be very careful. For me, I struggle a long time with, posting. And so I'm trying to show my personality a little bit. I think Rose has kind of opened me up to be, a little bit more personable, because again, with my brand, it's very corporate. Everything's very structured. It's very, the same kind of things all the time. It's just like, you got to lighten up. Be yourself a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know how to be myself. HR is very rigid. So I'm also in that stage of let me get myself out there a little bit, let them know there's an actual human behind what I do, because I wasn't showing myself at all. So it's evolving, it's ever changing. I think it's just learning from your experience and just keep pushing at it, because marketing is not an easy fit. And if you don't have the budget for it, if you don't have $10,000-$20,000 to put into it, you better be creative.
Right. Yeah.
Operational plan. So this is really your opportunity to kind of organize and demonstrate the understanding of the industry and the business. So that includes your facilities and space. If you're going to, sell a product or something like that and you need a space, then, you want to be able to share that, what type of technologies you need, equipment, any type of supply chain management. Again, I'm talking if this is a product-based business, any type of logistics and distribution plan, order and fulfillment process, quality control checks, any type of legal and accounting needs. So that all kind of falls under your operational plan. Again, this is applicable to any type of business. So this is just very general information that we're sharing, okay? A service-based business may not need all of these things. Management and organization. So this one is really just identifying, the needs and demonstrate to the investor how your team is going to get the job done. How are you guys going to get the job done? How are you going to service your clients? They want to be able to see what your foundation, what your executive team is. Again, who the owners, who the shareholders are. If you have board of directors, if you're kind of a nonprofit and you have board of directors, if it's consulting and special advising, which is my business, who the key team members are and who the department heads are. I'm growing, so, I don't really, I kind of do. I have some department heads, but, just being able to show those things on paper as your business grows is very important.
And
financial plan.
And they see those titles, but they don't know what they need, and they don't know what they're supposed to do. And then, with those titles, because people are excited, they have a title, but then aren't doing the job with the title, don't have the description of, what is it? And a director is totally different from a general manager, shareholders from just, they're different and have different descriptions. So understand, if I need these people within my organization, what does that mean? Well, then it means having an organizational structure then to define what one's position is.
Yes, an org chart. Having an org chart within your business, which comes into your operational document, so that, there's a clear understanding of what the hierarchy is. And I know some people hate to use the word hierarchy. Yeah. It's different. There is still that level of hierarchy, regardless of if you feel everybody's still on an equal playing field. They're not. So create the org chart so that it's a clear understanding of who is the top level, who's middle management, and what who the employees report up to, because again, it gives everybody a clear understanding of who's who and what their positions are. I think it becomes very confusing when you don't have one and people are like, who do I report to? Who do I ask a question to? Who's this? Who's that? Very confusing. So make that part of the process.
Okay.
Financial plan. You want to take the wheel on this one, Rose? Because, this is right up your alley.
Well, to be honest, having your financial plan is basically in the beginning where I was talking about knowing where your numbers are. And so, you'll have a bookkeeper or a CPA. Usually people will just have a CPA thinking that I don't need a bookkeeper. And not in every instance you do at the beginning of a business. You're not making the money to where there's a whole lot to do. But I always try to advise people to at least understand how to create your financials, which in our workshop we'll be doing some workshops that's going to really be hands-on with this type of training the education we're giving you here today, that will also include all of the kind of implementation of your employee and organizational documents and accounting, because all that's kind of fluent and works together. But I know I say this a lot, but if you don't have your organization set up and your entity structure set up, this part can be a mess.
Right. Yeah.
So when you have a bookkeeper, or like if you have a CPA is doing your taxes, but he may ask these questions. You need your entity set up to know what your chart of accounts should look like. When she said, Shamara was talking about backing up on products, if you have products and what the products look like, how they're built into your financials. If it's services, how your services looks like and what that's built in what your financial profile looks like. So you just don't start a business and go, oh, I just make some entries and I have a P&L and a balance sheet. Well, the setup of your company structure is going to help determine how these numbers are going to appear and how they're built. So you can see that you have your P&L, your balance sheet, income statements. If you have assets, things like that, backing up, like if she said, if you have products, inventory, assets, equipment, that's assets. Those are not expenses. What are your projections? What are you looking at as far as, are you forecasting? I talk about accrual accounting and cash accounting, where really the IRS, the federal government, when looking at a tax return, as well as your CPA, accrual is really the best way to go. Accrual meaning you put something in the entry, you have terms, and then it's paid later, rather than the cash way, as you're just swiping like you're going to the store and you're just using your card. So of course the financial plan is important, and as I said, we are going to have a workshop about that. And we're going to actually be giving actual hands-on training where people are going to be able to understand how to do their bookkeeping, their general bookkeeping, as well as understanding how their company setup is going to be. But that's going to be in a later show, and we're going to actually have an actual workshop where you'll be able to come down and actually sit and do the workshop. So, and we'll be able to provide the income and that type of thing. And just know that startup costs are not usually, they don't end up on your financial, they end up on your balance sheet, but not your P&L. And that'll be something else we'll go over as well. So then we'll talk about, let's go to going through the due diligence review.
Yeah, so we're now in that stage where we talked to you guys about sharing your business plan, what's in your business plan. So now once you've put together the business plan, you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, that you're reviewing everything looks good, your financial statements are great. So that, talking about the funding. And like I mentioned before, the funding piece, the financial plan piece they really skip through all. I don't want to say that they don't read through this other stuff, but they really just skip through all of that and go straight to that page, right? Yeah. Because again, when they're, they want a snapshot. They want to see, okay, if I give you this money, how am I going to get my money back? And so they want to see your projections. They want to see your cash flow. They want to see your income and expenses. So, taking that time to go through it, and taking your due diligence to review everything is going to help you be successful in acquiring potential funding. So, now, work out the terms. Okay, so now that, say that the person decided, yay, I'm interested in giving you some money, you want to work out the terms with them in regards to how much they're going to take in terms of percentage of your company, whatever that will look like, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So, you got to work out those terms with your potential investor. And then once you agree to the terms, you get your funds. You get your money. And again,
you have a loan to pay back.
Right.
We were telling you in the beginning is in place so that you can pay it back. So. And which company has a guarantor because you don't want it to affect your personal assets or anything because you can't pay a loan back.
Right.
People get that misunderstanding. Well, if I'm an LLC or an S corp, I don't have to worry if I get sued. But then again, if you're not set up right, well,
they can come after that. Yeah. And again, once you get the investments, hopefully you have a good investor that's going to be really involved to where you guys are creating milestones, right? So that you can see the achievement that you're making, and what you guys are planning to do, things like that. So always having those goals in place, and they should be someone that's really invested in that piece of it. Again, you might have people that are just very silent in your business and they just give you the funds, and then you have people that are very wants to see you succeed and want to be a part of that growth and change and things like that. So again, it just depends on the type of investor you get. So if you decide not to kind of go with the private investor, angel investor type thing, there's also crowdfunding. And these are really for businesses with a larger number of people within their business. And so they aren't technically investors because they don't receive a share of ownership within your business and don't expect a financial return on their money. So these are the best ones because there's quite a few companies or people out there that are willing to just give money to the startups and knowing that if it's a loss because they just believe in your dream enough. But if you get those are great. It's more of a gift to your company as far as contribution. So if you get a crowd investor, a crowdfunder investor in the sense, those are pretty good because it's very low risk for the business owner as well. So they gave you money and then they don't really want anything in return. So
yeah.
What you said, I didn't even hear you.
Them. Yeah, give me the money and go away.
Yeah, I was like, give me the money and go away. Where are these people at? Rose, we're always hearing people talking about they have investors, they have investors. And I was just like, where are these investors at? can you come our way? So one of the other ways, again, that you can get more funding is get a small business loan. If you're not, but even with a small business loan, you still have to have a business plan in place to show the bank that you can pay them back as well. But if if you want to start with something small, say $5,000 or whatever, and you know that you can fit that into your budget to pay $100 or so every month or whatever, you can always go and get small business loan from the banks and the financial institute and things like that. So, do you have anything to add to that one, Rose?
No.
um,
Just any type of loan. I always say go to the there's classes.
Small business administration, right?
Association, yeah, and they're really helpful. So I would say go there first. Take some of the offered classes that they offer, and then with your banker, actually sit down with a banker, and see what they're looking for, so you'll know exactly what to come to the table with. And I think we had Chase Bank, remember, and she was saying exactly that, is that some people's fear is trying to get a loan or not getting the right loan. And there's quite a few banks out there that they're just like, well, they want to give you the loan that's right for you. But if you don't know the question to ask, or even know where your business is, where you want it to be, how do you know what kind of loan to get if you have no idea what your plan is in the next 2
I just want the money, Rose. No one cares about none of that.
I'm not thinking, well, I see, you can get a loan and not realize that, like, for example, just using me as an example, when I started, I just planned on consulting and doing bookkeeping. I didn't even think about adding the payroll. I didn't think about having the product. I wasn't thinking about doing on-site training. I didn't think that I was going to add virtual training. I didn't know I was going to do, what did I do? Tutorial videos, training videos.
Have a staff.
I've been doing accounting for years, but I didn't actually sit down. I just thought, yay, I'm going to be in business and I'm going to get, people going to refer me clients. And as I was growing, I was like, well, I think I better add this on as things were happening and customers were asking for certain things. And like Shamar was saying, there's certain things that you don't anticipate, but It's great if you look at other companies and think, I wonder if I should do that. Let me really investigate the market a little more before rushing into and doing something. So let's say I had gotten a loan. I didn't even know where my business was going to be. Say I'm going to invest more and not invest more. Am I going to have to go to school and get some additional education? So just really, I guess, understanding where your business wants to be, where you would like it to be, and knowing what type of loan to get. That package, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and again, a lot of that information is going to be in that business plan, so that because you're planning, you're projecting, that's what the whole point of that business plan is. So you want to go in asking for the money that you really need, based on what you think your business is going to need within the next couple of years, right? And so you want to go in with that mindset of, okay, what is going to be the future state of my business? What is it that I'm going to be wanting or adding to my business, so that you can get the leg up and get the proper funding. I do apologize, the angel funding again showed up, but we want to just recap with ending with this, that typically with the angel investors, which we already talked about at the beginning, so we'll fix that, is they typically range between $50,000 to $500,000 is what they typically give businesses, and as we talked about already, they want to see some steady growth, and that's why it's better to either do the self-funding or find a company that will do the crowdfunding. Because when you think about these angel investors, or you're getting to that next stage in your business and you want an angel investors, they want to see the level of growth for your business, and they want to see some type of steady revenue coming in, even if it's just $1. They want to see that there's growth over time within your business, so that they feel comfortable giving you those funding. So yeah, that's really all I have for this document.
So we do have a template here, and for those who are listening on your favorite social platforms, on a podcast platform, so if you would like to if you would like a copy of the template on your business plan template, of course, if you're not on the live, you cannot see that where you can contact us, but you can go to swhrconsulting.com to the contact page, and then of course request your template download, and or you can go to mcdonald-bookkeeping.com, go to the contact page, and request your template download of your business plan. So this is a great job. I'm looking at it and it's really nice. So for those who
I was gonna say, if you can just scroll through it a little bit so they can kind of see, what that looks like when I put it together. So yeah.
The table of contents, everything's on here. And let's open that up for you. So, and for those who might be watching on YouTube, and you can see actually the entire layout. The template, it gives you, gosh, all the areas of putting your business name, everything. Cover page, executive summary. Let's see, your expectations and forecasts.
Right.
Oh, the graphs are great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I a lot of times these investors, they like to see charts and graphs. That's just how their mind works, because they're numbers people. So a lot of wording throws people off. You know that, Rose, because you like numbers. So, but yes, yeah, your problem and solution. What problem are you solving? Who your target market is? Who's your competition? Yeah, marketing and sales. It has everything that we talked about on the show today is listed in that document. And so, this is what's going to really drive home to whoever you're going to get funding, on what you're trying to do, the milestones and matrix. Yeah. Pretty solid document, huh?
It's a real template. So for those who are listening on your favorite podcast, just before, if you would like the template, and so that you can build your own for your business plan, and you can follow along pretty easy. It has all the descriptions and everything. Just visit swhrconsulting.com and go to her contact page. That's Shamara, and then you can request the download form, or you can go to mcdonald-bookkeeping.com and request a download form, or just go to our website, entrepreneurlife.show, and you can send us a message, and then we can go ahead and get it to you there. And so I think this was a really great educational resource. I even have the financial planning resource. So if there's anything you took out of today's show, it is really all going back to, if you're in business right now and you're going to start a business, sit down and look and see what your business setup looks like. And if you don't know, either one of us can advise you or direct you on what could be missing, what pieces could be missing that you need.
And I mean, a lot of the things that we're sharing is because of our own experience. I think that's what really, our biggest thing about our show is like, what were some of the personal experiences that we went through that we see. I want to talk in my accent because I'm home. That we went through, that we want to share with other businesses as well, because our goal is to really educate. Our goal is to really be able to get everybody to the next level in their business, and we want everybody to win. We want you to win. We want you to win. So I hope that you find the information useful. As Rose mentioned, you can find us on any of these platforms. Shoot us an email. And we can share this information with you. Rose, so unfortunately, it's not going to be attached to this. This one doesn't allow it.
Yeah, it doesn't allow to do the download in this.
Okay.
So I thought it'd probably be better for them to contact one of us directly, so then we can give it to them. And they might have questions. It's probably, okay. Yeah, so they can ask some direct questions. But if you do, you can also jump into the live, and you can send us your email if you want, and your contact information, and we can send it to you there also. But of course, go to our show format, our page, entrepreneurlife.show. You will be able to check out our upcoming guests that we have for our future shows. And we do have April also filling up. I have some guests that I'm waiting for that are running for office here locally in Nevada, but you don't necessarily have to be running for office just in Nevada. you're a business owner, and we find a lot of people who are actually have owned their own business or something, or have worked in the legal sector, end up running for office. So we do have some people for April, and we do have some great guests coming on for next week and the following week after that. But of course, I think we should probably start at marketing what our shows are going to be about, because I think we've done that yet. I think we just our piece and never tell anybody. Don't put it on the calendar. We're going to try to get better at that. We're going to try to get better at that.
I know. we're such givers. We just want to give.
So I want to thank everybody for, of course, tuning in. Whether it be on one of your very favorite podcasts, we're so thankful because, just to let you guys know that, I've been looking at our analytics, and we have so many listeners that I'm excited. That means people are interested in what we have to say. So you can actually subscribe. We're not going to solicit you. I know that some people, if you subscribe, that means you're going to get solicitation from us. We don't do that at all. But feel free to ask us questions. We are on, if you want to know all the platforms we're on, just go to our webpage, entrepreneurlife.show, and it will actually show you every place you can find us that we're on, in case maybe you don't listen on podcasts, and right now you're watching on YouTube or something. You can listen to us on your phone and listen to our station, 702.5 live on 365 live radio, internet radio.
Yeah, it's too funny. We are both introverts, so this is our outlet. And so I think, it's just, for us, it's very exciting because, we don't like to do this type of thing. And so it's exciting that you guys are interested in what we have to say and really listening and encouraging us to keep going. So thank you, really thank you for that. And thank you for everything that you guys have done to support our growth.
Yes. And so we are going to end Saturday's show, and we hope you guys see us next week on the 14th. We have, I believe it's, is it Amir next week?
Yes, Amir. Uh-huh.
Yes. So if you go to our page, you can listen to his music. And so he has some really great, a new EP coming out, quite a few, Amir Shahid. He's also on our radio platform. You can find him on Instagram, on our, what is it? iHeart. I forget all the ones we're on. We're on, so I forget the name of them. But anyway, if you go to our website, you'll see it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.